Hello and welcome to ABW Live. How the devil are we all? Oh, what a night. What a night. We won. We won. I can't believe it. I'm just waiting to see if this is recording properly because it was a bit weird on our... Oh, we're there. We're there.
We're on.
It was a bit weird. I can't believe it. Boys, I thought that was going to go badly wrong. What were your thoughts?
That's where I was at.
It didn't look good, did it? It didn't look good.
No, not at all. It looked like the Arsenal back line. You didn't think it would keep a clean sheet, but you know what?
Yeah, by hook or by crook. By hook or by crook, it did. Okay, hello everyone. How the devil are you? Oh, look at you all, you beautiful, beautiful gooners. You're all in there. Number one, the first in the box is first in the box. Bet it's not the first time either. Is Ian Taylor. Then there's Stan the Man 450. Then there was Supercalifragilistic Expialidocious and 235100. James Resnick, J Rob. Ah, look at you all there. Look at them all. It's wonderful to see Michael Hahnemann's there. Daniel Cronin, Daryl Kane. Daz 316. Marco Bricks UK, Richard Garrett, Neil Vergala, Jack Badley's there. Hello everybody. I hope you're all well. What a night. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. I am going to have a moan about a couple of things, but never mind. But, let's enjoy this. Tonight, Yvonne Kofa has just come in with a donation. And she says, it's £2. Thank you, Yvonne. You don't have to do it. We really appreciate you. And she says, dedicate the show to Hector. See you in March. Yeah, we'll speak about Hector later. That didn't look good. It's soured the evening. But Yvonne, you are a legend and you got a heart of gold. Fair play to you. Oh, Daryl Kane straight in there with 199 to annoy Danny. Lacazette chubby, he says. Oh, God. God help us. God help us. Tonight, I'm joined by my brother from another mother with a matching top. With a matching top.
I've got a number on mine.
I haven't. It's the boy wonder from down under. Say hello, Dom.
Hello, Dom.
Hey!
Has to be done, mate. Has to be done. Tell you what, Jace, I've been a little bit under the weather the last week or so. So that was I needed that. That was really, really, really nice. Yeah,
it was, isn't it? It's it's cheered me up no end because it's been tough going. Unique 79, £2, 3 points against the scum. You are correct, Unique 79. You are correct. And my next guest, he's not wearing the pod top tonight, which I'm a bit disappointed in. But I'm going to have to be nice to him later as well, so be kind to me. It's Josh. Say hello, Josh.
Hello, Josh. It's good to speak to you as well, Jace. I didn't get the memo on wearing the Arsenal training top from last season. Not sure what happened there, but, we're all here now.
All I've got to say is great minds think alike.
I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. Did your mum ever throw that one at you when you were a kid? Oh, that was the worst.
It's like a kick. It's a kick in the nuts, that one, isn't it? It's a kick in the nuts. Oh, Josh. Letting the side down again.
At least you're not liking me. I was going to say, at least you're not liking me to a serial killer, at least.
Yeah. That was last week. It's a different week, mate. Right, let's get on with this. Michael Hahnemann, another £2, cleaning up like the defence. Yeah, got to give him credit tonight, mate. We slag them off when they're poor, but they did well tonight. Let's get into this. Thank you, Michael. You're a star. Oh my God. Right, okay. Let's cool it down on donations, guys. Otherwise, we're not going to talk about the game. Nikhil Naidu with 100 rupee. Thank you very much, Nikhil. You're a star. To the transfer kitty, get some defenders. Get some defenders in. And for you wonderful folks, Nikhil, you, my friend, are a legend. And thank you ever so much. You're all superstars. Look at this. There's 146 of you already. And we haven't even started properly. Dom, I'm going straight to you. Lineups. Rambo in the side, Ozil on the bench, and a 4-4-2. Wow.
Yes. Was it 4-4-2 or was it more of a 4-3-1-2?
I thought it was a 4-4-2 diamond, or you could call it a 4-3-3. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what? It was definitely a formation and a team selection that I've been wanting for a little while now. I don't think that back three's done us any favours over the last few weeks. We have missed a dono, but we'll come to that one in a second. But that was the first sort of team selection where I've looked at and I saw us in the opening 5 to 10 minutes and thought, okay, I understand why you haven't played Ozil or you haven't started Ozil, because we pressed. We definitely put them under a lot of pressure. Ramsey was definitely pivotal for that in that sort of more advanced position, pressing from the front with Aubameyang and Lacazette, who also did a great job. And it caused Chelsea a lot of issues early on in the game. But the back four for me, I think, works just a little bit better. I just don't like the fullbacks having to get so high up the pitch to create any kind of attack. Because to me, it seems like then the centre-backs are being spread really wide to cover those guys that are really far up the pitch. And it was just leaving a bunch of holes for people to run at us. So I think we seemed a little bit more compact back there. And we were able to launch some really nice attacking moves with a good defensive shape. But yeah, for me, I as soon as I saw the formation, look, I don't think any of us were really overly confident going into the game. But once I saw that formation, it did make me feel a little bit better.
No, absolutely. We've had another donation. Aryan Hadari, how the devil are you, pal? And he comes in with two Canadian dollars. And is it really John Welsh FC, he asks? Well, John Welsh is out tonight, Aryan. He's out and about.
What is he doing,
he may be doing a little tappy. Bit of a hint for you there, guys. I mean, he's in swinging somewhere. That's all I'm going to say. He's, he could be at the park. He could be at a party.
He's hovering around.
I don't know. Apparently,
I don't think he'll swing by around here later anyway.
Apparently, wherever he is, there's a wet room. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, Vibor Singh comes in with 199. A step in the right direction, Vibor says. Vibor, thank you very much, mate. You are a star. And yes, you are right.
Jesus, right. Have we seen that formation this year?
Yes.
We saw second half against Tottenham where we decimated them, okay? Josh, I'm going to come to you on this. Sorry, Dom.
No.
Oh, fucking hell. Right, stop, okay? Daniil Chernikov, thank you very much. He comes in with $5. Thank you, Daniil. Josh, before the game, I'm going to give you some credit here. You told me what was going to happen. Tell the lovely listeners what you thought was going to happen, because, by God, it came true.
Yeah, Mystic Josh is back. This is weird. All I said to Jace, and this was in the one of our groups, just like Emery's going to put Rambo on Jorginho, and we're going to stop Chelsea. That's it. That's all that's going to happen, and they won't do anything to us. Lo and behold, what happens? What happens, Jace? Well, you tell him. You tell him what happens.
I'll tell you exactly what happened. Rambo was on Jorginho like a rash. He was like a John Welsh case of herpes all over him. And Jorginho didn't like it. And my God, it killed them dead first half. It absolutely destroyed them. I couldn't believe it. Josh, I tip my hat to you. You got it right.
I'm sorry.
Got it right.
I'll have to say something in my defence. That's really how one-dimensional Chelsea are under Sarri. That is the only way to stop them.
They did end up resorting to David Luiz spraying the ball around, who, by the way, I don't like the guy that much, but he can play the ball, can't he?
He can.
But that just shows what a great job Ramsey did, is that it had to go back again to their, it's like a backup option, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think Ramsey, I don't think he moved further than 5 feet away from from Jorginho when the Chelsea had possession. It was unbelievable. But Dom, we had a fast start. We put early pressure on them. Aubameyang had a shot wide. You had a great little movement. Hector to Lacazette, and Lacazette just put the ball behind Aubameyang. Then it was Socrates had a header wide from a Xhaka cross. We started fast. It was good to see, wasn't it?
It was, and that's the kind of start to games that I guess we've all been. And I mean, that's probably, I guess, what we're going to get to eventually in the show. And I don't want to take any gloss off of the performance because it was really, really good to see. It just makes you wonder where that start is more often. We're capable of it against a very good ball playing Chelsea side. We really strangled them and were forcing them into making mistakes. And to me, that's where, like I said, I understand if you're dropping players for tactical reasons and certain formations when you need every single player on the pitch pressing as one, because if one gets it wrong, a team like Chelsea's going to find that extra man and they're going to pass the ball through you and cause issues. So it really is one of those things that it requires everybody on the pitch to be working together and good communication. And you can see, against a very, very good side, just how many issues it can cause. So hopefully we can start to see that a little bit more often.
But this is the thing, and I'm coming to you on this, Josh. Before the game, I was really concerned about the lineup. I thought if he goes back 3 today, we're screwed. You know what I mean? And we've seen Unai put out some really negative lineups against teams where we should be going for the jugular. And it was really great to see him start with a positive lineup. And I think you saw the effect on the boys straight away. They came out of the blocks, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was also a case of, the amalgamation of injuries we've had, they'd all come back. We were able to put out a lineup like this where we could really trust those players to almost go through 90 minutes. I know one of them that has recently just come back had to leave on a stretcher, but I don't think that's anything down to the fact that, we rushed him back or anything. I'm sure we'll delve further into that. But what I'd say on, as you said, the formation, the way we really started the game, seeing it initially on paper, it was a really positive lineup. Perhaps some might say, 3 defensive midfielders, in Guendouzi, Torreira and Xhaka starting doesn't necessarily seem to be like a positive move, but it really gave us that base and that formation to move on and press up the field.
I think the big thing was obviously you've got a link between the midfield and the attack, okay? Whether you're playing Mesut Ozil, whether you're playing Aaron Ramsey, you've got somebody who can get up and back, okay? And it does allow, with Torreira and Guendouzi, that it does allow Xhaka a bit of freedom. And talking to Xhaka, he turns the ball over, which leads to a hazard shot that goes wide. He wasn't the only one early doors. Torreira turned the ball over, but we coped pretty well. Then, Dom, we get a Kos header saved. Maybe a bit too close to the keeper. Maybe he could have done better. But not long afterwards, oh my God, Alexandre Lacazette. Ooh la la.
Oh, I know, mate. When that ball came in from Bellerin, I thought, that's not a very good delivery. And then the first touch, I was like, hang on. Second touch, third touch, and I was like, mate, settle down. I can only get so erect. And then he just thumped it right up above top bins. Keeper couldn't really do a thing about it, and it was another one of those oh my God moments, wasn't it? And he's very capable of giving you those.
Do you know what? The speed with which his feet went at, and the way he was so calm in how he maneuvered the ball and then chose where he's going to put it and blasted it. I mean, Josh, you've got to give the guy some credit. He's got nerves of steel at times, hasn't he?
Yeah, it was similar to one that he scored earlier in the season, wasn't it? Where he just decided, not going to bother with trying to go across goal, straight into that little stamp. And we saw it from, like Lucas Podolski when he was with us, that similar kind of player in that time kind of regards, with an absolutely fierce shot. And nothing the poor keeper could do about that at all.
I don't think the goalkeepers expect that, do they? I think they probably think it's going to be driven low across or or something like that. And so their hands are sort of down. To get your hands up as the ball's traveling up, it's too late.
I just think, I mean, I was shocked at his ball placement, first and foremost, okay? Because let's be honest, if somebody scores against us near post, we're all up at the pop at the goalkeeper. But I was so shocked at his ball placement. And because I suppose the keeper's watching the ball at his feet, right, left, right, bang, you know what I mean? He does have some excuse, but would you expect him to go for near post, Josh?
I mean, it's not what you're taught as a forward when you're learning. It's always go across the keeper, give your teammates a chance. If he parries it, doesn't go in. It's where the percentages are, shall we say.
Yeah.
But, football's not always played on percentages. And, he's gone for it. It might be the case now that we see keepers covering their front post a little bit more. And he's, you just do the opposite. And I think that's the great thing, that we've got a forward that's that intelligent, that he knows where the space in the goal is, and he's going to go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Dom, it was reward for early pressure. I thought the boys deserved that. I thought, they'd worked hard to earn that goal. And it was reward for good selection from Unai, or from ambitious selection from Unai, wasn't it?
Well, it was, because like you said, the other chances that we created before that, the Koscielny header and the Aubameyang one, they came from turnovers, from pressing, from working really hard, from turning the ball over and transitioning quickly. The Aubameyang one, again, he has a tendency to miss some chances. That wasn't probably as easy as it looked on replay, was it? The ball was a little behind him, but then the Koscielny header, it all happened so quickly. I don't think that he had time to really direct where that went, and then it just hit the goalkeeper in the shoulder, and a foot either side, that was a goal. So it could have started as one of those games, where we just don't take our early chances and it comes back to bite us in the bum later. But fortunately, Lacazette didn't miss his.
No, absolutely. Daryl Kane's in with another 199 to annoy Danny. And he says, Guna Gra 2029. See you in New Orleans, lads. I've got to be honest, Guna Gra sounds good. Guna Gra does sound good. There's been a few of them now with the Gunas in the USA. And Mike from Gunas, the Gunas podcast, formerly Gunas in the USA, goes there. And it looks like a cracking laugh. So well done, Daryl. Well done. Tim Hargreaves, formerly this parish, is in the box. Hello, Tim. How you doing, pal? Hope you're well. Josh, Auba follows that up. He has an effort. It's saved. He really stuck out. Did some great work. And Aubameyang, he was everywhere initially, wasn't he? He put in some big tackles. And you could see his work rate. He really had an effect on the game in many areas, didn't he?
Yeah, it was really odd to see such a performance from Aubameyang, because it's not something you really truly expect from him, to be that kind of all-action striker, a little like Lacazette is. Because you can see Lacazette, whenever he comes on, he's always dropping deep to pick the ball up and press on with it. Whereas Aubameyang, we always expect him, he's that quintessential guy who's just sitting on the back of the last defender and waiting for that ball through. But to see him going all across the pitch, even popping up in left or right back positions and winning tackles, superb performance from everybody on the field. And as you say, yeah, he was one of them. It just goes to show that anyone in the squad that perhaps thinks that they can, get an easy ride by not necessarily putting in the work rate, really has to get a place in this squad. Because in all honesty, I was thinking that Aubameyang should be perhaps, being moved down to the bench on his form from recent weeks.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't disagree with you. I wouldn't at all. Dom, Chelsea have a hell of a chance then. Pedro puts it wide, but there was a hell of a ball from David Luiz. A magic run from Pedro. Our defence was caught cold. I'm not sure if that's down to them being slightly off the boil at this point, or whether it's just a great movement from Pedro and a great ball from David Luiz. But we got away with it, didn't we?
We did. On replay.
Sorry, I do apologise. Abdul and Rezwana. Hi, welcome to the chat box.
Farewell from the chat box.
Yes, you're a bit of a wanker. I'd like to say goodbye, but that's all I'm going to say is fuck off, you twat. Get out. Don't come back. Take care. Adios.
On replay,
you.
Jace, I was looking at that, and I do got to give a little bit of credit to David Luiz for that one, because no one's going to expect a sort of across your body diagonal left-sided pass that basically cuts out every player on the pitch, and Pedro sort of preempted that that's where the ball was going to go and made that little bit of a movement. So yeah, that's one of those ones. I think, they're a talented enough team that they're going to be able to do that now and then. And luckily for us, Pedro didn't quite manage to get enough on it over the top of Leno to dink it in. And Koscielny was back there anyway. I think that probably would have been able to deal with it had it been on target. So yeah, I mean, all things considered, you gotta understand, I guess, that you're playing a team like that. They're going to create issues. They're going to create chances. They're a good enough side. So luckily for us, the ball kind of just tipped our way a couple of times today, which was very much needed.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, pal. Totally agree. Daniel Block says, give me a shout out, man. Daniel, you get a shout out. Welcome to the chat box. Hope you're having a good time, pal. Josh, I've got a couple of notes here. So we get some chav pressure. Jorginho shoots over. But I've actually written it down in my notes. Cos looking sharp. There was a distinct improvement in Koscielny's play all round today, I thought. And you could see it early doors.
Yeah, I think it's either a return to him of, full match fitness. After that kind of injury, he hadn't played for, 9 months or so. So he wasn't going to be great with his first kind of month back. And I think slowly he's now got back to the stage where we've seen the, Koscielny of 2 or 3 seasons ago. And with someone like Socrates next to him, another experienced body, it's almost like we've got that kind of Kos and Mertesacker pairing back. If we can keep them in shape, you kind of got, 2 quite reliable defenders in there. And it showed today, to be honest, with the movement between them, the chemistry that they had, that we were doing really well with dealing with all of Chelsea's attacks. To be fair, they were very linear. It was all on the ground because of the fact that, when you've got a forward line of Pedro, Hazard and Willian, you're not really aiming for a target man in the box. But even when Giroud came on, I thought they still did exceptionally well.
I think you make a good point about it being very linear. I don't think. I thought Chelsea were poor today, and you've got to give the centre backs credit because they can only deal with what's in front of them. Okay, you can turn around and say, "Oh, Chelsea were poor," but whatever was thrown at them today, they dealt with very well. And so hats off to them. Dom, Rudiger holds back Aubameyang on the counter, no yellow. I was amazed at that.
The ref saw it. He waved play on, so it wasn't like it snuck by him. Yeah, I did notice that one.
To be fair, we got away with it really early in the first half.
Shut up, John.
With Xhaka and Kante. Xhaka pulled him back.
Are you John Welsh in disguise?
Listen, John, I know that you don't have your Arsenal kit on, but it's near enough red. You're not a Chelsea supporter over there. Calm down.
That's true. we did say he'd swing in later, and he's just swung in.
This is not the place for reason and logic, pal.
Yeah.
This is one-eyed, rose-tinted goggles time, all right?
I just can't believe he's the John Welsh substitute today. I just can't believe it. Ridiculous. I'm not happy.
We finally got rid of him, Jason, and 2.0's popped up.
I thought it was going to be all fun today. Let's slag off the referee. Let's slag off everyone. But no, Mr. Sensible's here. Why?
Sorry,
why?
You want to know what I'm up to when I'm not on. A bit like John.
I really don't want to know, mate. I really don't want to know. I've seen your driving license photo. I do not want to know. So, I guess, Josh, Rambo has a shot saved. And then Obama Young wide with the overhead kick. Oh, God, I wanted that to go in so badly.
I think the whole stadium did. It was perhaps the gasp from that end that pulled it away from the post. I'm going to blame all of the fans on that end because it was an incredible hit. And and then it just turned out that, if our centre forwards can't do it, we need our centre backs to do it instead with a bit of flair and guys.
We'll come to that in a second. I really want to concentrate on this because Koscielny delivers a really good work from him again today. Really shows off his attacking prowess. And I just thought, Aubameyang's work great and his industry and his ability in the air. He deserved that, didn't he? He really did.
Oh, you talking to me?
Yeah, we're talking to anyone.
Sure, why not? No, kid. Koscielny, I feel like he just showed today that he can work in a back four. I think a lot of people probably thought that that he's defensively a little bit shaky and a bit suspect in terms of just having a back four, but I think that the fitness level that he showed today was good enough to get up and down. I think that he was a little more conservative going forward, which is a good thing. He picked his moments a little bit, and when he did go forward, it was always with some purpose, and he caused a lot of issues. But I think that he never really got caught out defensively today, and I think that's another little point worth noting for his performance. I think both fullbacks were especially good today. So, hopefully a back four is what we stick with, to be honest, because I think it just gives us a lot more sort of stability throughout that area of the pitch, but also balance in terms of our attacking play. But he was really, really good. Really, really good today. Very impressed with him. Defensively, he was putting himself around. His shoulder checking Pedro off the ball and sending him flying. It was great.
Yeah, I looked at him, and I think there was one moment he gave the ball away sloppily. But other than that, he was very, very solid, wasn't he? He worked hard. He was an important part of this victory, which is really good to see. I'm going to stick with you in this, Dom. Luis on Ramsey, he's off his feet as a stud. How is it not a yellow? How? Anthony Taylor kind of let a lot go at this point, didn't he?
Is that the Louise Ramsey one you're talking about? It was a yellow. You mean it should have been red?
Oh, sorry, yes. Yeah. How is it not a red? Sorry, yes, it was. Yeah, sorry.
I mean, I think the only thing that saves him there is that he did get to the ball slightly before Ramsey. That's got to be about it, I would say. But yeah, foot was high. It was about shin high. We was out of control at that point, and even caught Ramsey with his back leg as well. So I was. It could have easily gone the other way for that one. I think it was probably a 50-50 one from the ref, and maybe he gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Did that look like one of those tackles that Ramsey's been giving the main player for Chelsea, Jorginho, horrid time for that game, and someone's just gone, right, we need to stick something in on him, try and slow his mobility down.
It did seem that they started to be a little cynical in that second half for sure, and we'll get to the massive twat that is Marcus Alonso, I guess, a little bit later, and he seemed to lead the charge on that. But
that's all I'm going to say is, okay, he got sent off for a similar challenge in the home game at Stamford Bridge a couple of seasons ago. If Vertonghen's red card against us is a red, that's a red. And I thought Anthony Taylor shit out today, but he's a massive shit house anyway. So it was disgusting. I've just got no time for Anthony Taylor. He's a bad referee, and he sums up. He does sum up English refereeing. Daryl Kane is back in the chat box with another donation. Question. Torreira, Stud and Guendouzi flanking Xhaka. You're going to have to be, I don't know. You're going to have to be more specific, Daryl. I'm not sure what you're on about there, fella. Come back at us and we'll answer it. Josh, then the Kos goal. And this is, let's be honest, it's the butcher's goal. It's the shank and shoulder goal. Talk to me.
Oh, you're gonna try that one, aren't you? Shank and shoulder. You can't give Socrates any credit, can you, Jace?
Oh, mate,
Can
come
you?
on.
I mean, he's
No,
still
we'll get to
in
that.
there.
We'll get to that beautiful assist that it was.
Yeah.
Outside foot. I mean, that was
Outside of the
Zidane.
shin.
I thought I was watching Zinedine Zidane there for a second. I genuinely thought that we must have signed him for free in the summer and in the transfer window, and he's snuck in a beautiful little assist right onto the top of Koscielny's shoulder.
I'm not being funny, boys. It comes off his shin, okay?
No, bullshit.
I mean, some great goals have come off the shin, to be fair. Some great goals.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
it was a
it's
thing.
that hit that needed it, because, if Koscielny hits that true with his head, it misses. So he needed to shank it. That had to be happened. He knows what he's doing, Jace. He's on a level above all of us.
What can I say? Okay, the vision to shank it and the vision from Koscielny to go with his shoulder. I know it's a lucky goal. I do know it's a lucky goal, but I thought we deserved it. I know Chelsea come back at us, but I think we were industrious, we were hardworking, and I think we earned it. Would you agree or disagree, boys? You first, Dom.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that in terms of chances created and shots on target, I don't think Chelsea created a whole lot for the whole first half. So for some of the chances that we missed early, and then even after the goal, we seem to kind of be getting in and around the area there a few times in dangerous spots. So yeah, like I said, in those types of games, the luck needs to go your way, both refereeing wise and the drop of the ball, the roll of the ball, deflections, all that kind of stuff. So even though I think that it was completely calculated from both players and they knew exactly what they were doing, and it was probably a training pitch drill, to be honest, Jace. I think that's how well oiled that machine was. You gotta take the rub of the green, don't you?
No, absolutely. But Carol Kane's back in with another 199. 50 letter max, he says. Impressed? Listening. I think he's just getting me to say random words now. I think he's just winding me up. I love it, Darryl. Well, thank you, mate. Josh Alonso heads against the post from a corner. We got a bit lucky. Then the corner that follows from that, you see David Luiz and Hector going at each other. And I thought Luiz was trying to bully Hector, and Hector just went back at him. It was really good to see, wasn't it?
Yeah, he is an angry little vegan, isn't he, Hector Bellerin? I think that's what it is. I think he's just given up meat, and it's just made him ridiculously angry, that lack of protein in his diet. But he has been bullied by Chelsea before, so he's obviously started, learning from this. We've seen him and was it Marcus Alonso when he almost got knocked out?
He did get knocked out.
Did get knocked out 2 seasons ago with that flying elbow.
Yeah.
And I think just there's something that adds a little bit of steel that we see from Hector in these games for it, to be fair.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. That was the first half, guys. It was brilliant to go in 2-0 up at halftime. C-Rex says in the chat box, a gutsy performance. And I think he's right. It was a gutsy first half. I thought it was, we were industrious, we were ambitious, we were all the things we needed to be, and it was really, really good to see. Josh, if you keep on looking out for questions, mate, I'd really appreciate that. But chat box, how are you?
Here it comes. Here it comes. Strap in, guys.
Get ready. There's 318 of you watching right now. 319. Hello, new listener. How are you? Hope you're well. In all fairness, you've been pretty good so far. I got 97 likes. I really like that. I think that's all credit to you. You've started off like the Arsenal. Well done. But come on now, okay? 97 and there's 320 odd of you watching. Let's go. Let's get 150. Too sweet. Come on. Be ambitious. Be like Unai. Go 4-4-2. Don't mess about. Tappy. Let's get going. Stop messing about. Come on. Be like the Arsenal. Be ambitious. Let's get on it. Come on. I expect to see him now. 150, too sweet. Come on, let's go. Thank you very much. We've had another donation. Michael Hahnemann again. And he says, dominant, professional, and in control. That was the Arsenal's first half. It's not your likes, though, is it? Come on. Dominant would be 150, not 117 that's there. Come on now, guys. Come on. Be good. Be good to yourselves. Let's keep it going. Thank you very much. Second half, Dom, and Chelsea are a very different team coming out, aren't they? There's early Chelsea pressure, and you saw an instance where there's pin ball in the box, and you saw Koscielny defending like a bloody warrior, to be fair to him.
Yeah. I think there was a lot, earlier in the chat box, kind of discussing our first half versus second half, and this is always the interesting thing being on these shows is what what you notice is that if we play well like we did, a lot of people will say, well, it's because Chelsea were rubbish, and if we get turned over, it's because we're terrible. So it's always a reflection on what we're, it's never kind of positive for us. So I kind of disagree with that today. I think it was us making Chelsea poor in that first half, like Josh said. Tactically, Ramsey's performance, the way that we kind of pressed and the hard work that we put in made them look like they were a rubbish team in that first half. So, and they just had no answer for it. So I think we need credit for that. The second half, they obviously had a bit of a rocket up them by Sarri at half time to kind of sort that out. And I think I'm a bit torn on this because, years gone by, you wouldn't see us kind of hunker down and sort of hold a lead and give up possession like that. You'd see us sort of play the same way the whole match. But I don't mind us taking a more defensive approach and picking them off on a counter and saying, listen, you have to break us down. We're not going to make it easy for you to score. We've got the 2-goal lead. We don't have to go giving up chances by leaving open spaces by all bombing forward. We're gonna hunker in and we're gonna try and see this out. And I think it's a good thing because how many times have we seen us score a goal this season and concede within 5 minutes? So that was another big positive that first half, is that we were actually able to take that advantage into half time and we didn't concede instantly. So to be able to go another 45 minutes where, visibly, and even the changes that we made tactically were more defensive minded, and to see Koscielny and Socrates do what they did, I was really happy to see it, to be honest. And I think it is a positive thing. I know people are going to say that the performance was sloppy in the second half, but I think two things happened. Chelsea came out and decided we need to score, we need to take some risks, and we need to go after it. And I think Arsenal sat back and said, well, listen, we'll let you have the ball and we'll pick you off on the counter because we've got the weapons to do it. So interesting second half, as much as it may have looked on the surface like it was a bit average. What do you think, Jace?
Well, I've got to be honest with you. I'm a little bit torn on this. Maybe I'm a bit too used to sort of Wenger ball, if you know what I mean. And if you look at our goals against column this season, there's not too many clean sheets there. So yes, it's lovely to get a clean sheet, okay? Especially against a quality side like Chelsea, who are above us in the table. I was very impressed with Socrates and Koscielny tonight. I've slagged them off over the past few weeks because they deserved it.
Can someone just quickly clip that and record Jace saying that he was impressed with Socrates, please? Can we just get that on record? Thanks.
Yeah, you've got to give the boy credit. There were a couple of great challenges in there, and I thought he did very, very well tonight. And regardless of whether you thought Chelsea were good or bad, I thought he did very well. Okay, I'm not gonna beat around the bush on it. It was good to see. There was a challenge on Willian, which I got down here. Great stuff. He wins the challenge in the box and he wins the corner at the same time. You've got to give them credit in that.
I was going to ask you that question, Jace. You've stolen it from me. I was going to say, just how much did you love seeing that tackle where he gets up and he gives the big fist pump and... that's what I love about football. I love that, okay? And I like that side of him. He likes to defend, doesn't he? He gets joy out of defending.
I still don't think he's the defender we should have gone for, but he's done his job so well tonight. You've got to give the boy credit. So, you know, in all fairness, I'm a little disappointed at a lack of ambition in the second half, but you've got to temper that with we've won 2-0. You can't slag off anyone today. You can't. You know, it was really well done. A couple of little things before I go to Josh. Jai Harrod, thank you for the like, mate. Really appreciate that. But guys, we've still only got 129. Why? Why only 129? I'm not impressed by that. We've got a couple more donations. Let me get to them. Chris Lodato comes in. Where's that gone? Sorry. With $5. Where's that? Daniel Mage, sorry. Daniel Mage comes in with, I'm not sure what currency that is, Daniel. I do apologize. And he just says, love this pod. Daniel, we love you too, mate. We love you too. You're a rock star, okay? Mr. Bob Lex, up in with £2. Up the arse, he says. Nice. Nice. Now, where's Chris Lodato? Chris Lodato coming in with $5. And he says, Josh hates Aubameyang and sunlight.
I like that one. That is a good one. Josh, any comments, any thoughts?
I do hate sunlight. And Chris knows my thoughts on Aubameyang. Chris, I would say, as my comeback, stands Aubameyang. And therefore, my mediocre, okay, he's all right, but he's not the greatest striker. Goes against his thoughts.
Thomas from Norway puts in there, 100 knock is about 10 quid. What can I say, Daniel? You're a bloody rock star. Cheers, mate. And it's obviously Norwegian krona. I'm a doughball. Sorry. My apologies. Do you know what, guys? You're superb. I'm just so impressed with this chat box. Apart from the fact I've only got 137 likes. What's going on? Come on. Josh, Alonso fires wide. Kolasinac has a shot saved. Ramsey has a shot saved. Barkley comes on. Kos puts a really big block in against him. We had a couple of moments in the second half, but mostly we were under the cosh, weren't we?
It's one of those. It's were we just comfortable with us defending and letting them have the ball? Or did Chelsea get better? I'm not really sure. I think the way that we've seen Unai as this kind of pragmatic manager, it was almost a sense of, right, boys, you've got 2 goals for me in the first half and a clean sheet. Let's see this through. Get me a clean sheet. That's your test now. He was testing them, seeing if they can really do it at that level, because we haven't been able to blow teams away in the first half, which I think is something we need to kind of highlight, especially in the league, that we blew Chelsea away in the first half. I can't think of us doing that all season, especially with a team of that quality as well, to go at them and really show that we can do it and meet them. And then just to see out the second half was just superb.
But let's be fair, okay? This team all season has not been able to keep clean sheets on a regular basis, okay? Not been able to blow teams away in the first half. And tonight, against, regardless of what you think of Chelsea's performance today, they're a good side. They're above us in the league, okay? And the boys have managed to pull that off. I mean, Dom, your thoughts on that? Because I'm pretty bloody impressed.
Yeah, I think it's easy for us sometimes to sit here and be a little bit negative. The last few weeks, probably month or so, hasn't really been great as an Arsenal fan, has it? I think that there's been some pretty subpar performances. We've had the Ozil situation, the Ramsey situation. We've got off-field problems that are very well documented at the moment. So for me, I just wanted to enjoy the win. Really, just wanted to make sure that, you know, and I think we all needed it. I think we really did just sort of, you know, we could sit here and focus on all of that stuff, but I think that's best left for another time.
Yeah, I mean, there's only a couple more points about the second half here, and then we're going to go to some questions and a bit of chat about what's happened in the last week at the club. Josh, Ramsey and Lacazette get pulled off, and
No way, hang on.
Hey, I think they may be going to John's party tonight. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, I know they played well, but bloody hell.
Maitland-Niles and Iwobi came on. I didn't like it. I got to be honest there. Oh, to bring one of them off, fair enough. To bring them both off, I thought we blunted our attacking options. What did you think of that? Because I can see both sides of the coin on this.
Yeah, it's getting to that kind of point. I think with Ramsey coming off, we'd seen he'd done a superb work through that whole game, really, that he was on, with how much of his engine he was really utilising. But the case he hasn't played that often, for us now, that's an issue that's in the past. But it did kind of hit us that I think we needed to take him off at that point.
Well,
I don't think he had the energy.
He's only had 3 league starts in the last 4 months or whatever it is. Okay, so I think it's a very valid point.
Yeah,
he
was practiced. He had run his little feet.
Yeah, his batteries were pretty drained, to say the least, at that point when he was taken off. So I think with that one, fine. Lacazette coming off, that's a different matter. I'm not getting irritated with Emery. He's obviously got a plan to a point, but I would have thought at this point, what Lacazette can bring to the team, the fact that he is more creative than Aubameyang, he links better with the midfield, respective, he'll pass it back to them as well as receiving it off them. I would have thought at that point, if we're going to defend a lot, we want a player that can hold the ball and allow us to move up the pitch. But once he came off, I'm not sure of the thoughts that Emery had, maybe adding a bit more pace with Maitland-Niles in there. When Iwobi came on, I thought the pressing that he kind of reinstated, because with Ramsey kind of slipping behind, not being able to necessarily get there as quickly as he could in the early parts of the game, were really impressive. So they absolutely worked to substitutions, but not necessarily the choices I'd have made at the time.
I'm not sure, see, because I put down there Q 25 minutes of pressure, because I don't think you get anybody to hold the ball up top. Right.
That's what I mean about the Lacazette thing. That taking Ramsey off, Ramsey doesn't hold the ball up for you at all, does he? It's Lacazette that is that hold-up man from that pairing that came off.
Exactly, and this is the bit where I worried. And then Dom, I'm coming to you. When you got nobody to hold that ball up, I think you're in trouble. So we've made 2 substitutions. So, the Ramsey one, I get that, as you said. I think there's a clear reason for doing that. Lacazette, I'm not sure. I get you want to use Aubameyang's pace on the break. Fair enough. But we're not really playing those balls to him. But then, Dom, oh, fuck. Hector goes down. He's not touched by anyone, okay? I know Barkley's around there, but he's not really touched. It's just pure impact. And, I've done it myself. Josh said in the thing, to us, it looks like an ACL. What were your thoughts, Dom? What were your thoughts?
I did tweet out pretty soon after that, after looking at the replay. For people that don't know, I kind of work in that field. I've worked with athletes and rehab on that particular injury a few times now, and unfortunately, it's something I know a little bit too much about. And to my eyes, it did look like an ACL rupture. So, unfortunately for Hector, because I think he's been amazing this season when he has played. I think he really has taken a step up in his game. I think he started to really improve. One of the players that has improved under Emery. And yeah, he might find himself in the rehab room with poor Bobby Holding, I think. So look, this is the club are going to make some kind of, in the press conference, I don't know if Emery's already said it yet, but it'll come out in the next 24 hours. They'll say, we have to wait for the swelling to go down, so we won't get the scan done until probably Tuesday, where they get a diagnosis. But with these things, very quickly there's a stress test that you can do to check if the ACL is there or not, basically by the stability. So they'll be able to confirm very, very, very quickly, and or already, like they'll have a 90% diagnosis. And the scan is literally just to see and to confirm what they think. So they'll know. And I think by looking at it, when you see the movement and like you said, going down under no contact can sometimes mean a soft tissue injury. But for that one, the only saving grace is that he reached for the front of his knee. And generally, when you rupture an ACL, it almost feels a bit more painful behind the back of your knee. So that can sometimes be a little bit of a give or a little bit of a tell. So if it's not an ACL, which I highly suspect that it is, maybe he's done something to a patella tendon or something like that. But that'd be a really kind of rare thing to happen. So that definitely, like, for the rest of the game, like I said, I know a little bit too much about these things, and I've worked with players or athletes before on that kind of rehab, and it's a bad one. It really is, because not only are you recovering from such a traumatic injury where your ACL is snapped in half and you have to go and then get surgery to put basically part of your hamstring tendon back in there. The other side of the rehab, I don't know if anyone saw the Koscielny little documentary about just how many other issues that you're actually dealing with when you go through rehab, like muscular atrophy, and then changing your biomechanics, and then, not struggling with soft tissue injuries afterwards, but also getting your speed back. That's the big one, because Hector Bellerin, as we know, really does rely on his pace.
Yeah.
He's not a defender that is amazing one-on-one. His ability to get back. He did an amazing sliding tackle on Willian in the first half. Oh. And that sort of seems to be his bread and butter there. And I just really, really hope for the kid that, A, it's not an ACL and that something, really weird's happened and he'll be okay in a few weeks. But if it is, I hope that he's able to get the proper treatment. Everything goes smooth, everything's fine, and we see both him and Bobby Holding probably about Christmas time, maybe next year.
My heart broke for him. I've had that injury myself, and very similar with the impact. And when the pain shoots through the knee, you've done something, and you could see by his face. It was horrible. It was horrible. So, thoughts are with you, Hector. We hope you get well soon, mate. And I hope it's not as bad as we think it is, but I don't hold out much hope. So, Josh, bearing in mind you're playing John Welsh tonight, I've got two instances I want to talk to you about, okay? Alonso hand to face and Maitland-Niles, no action taken. Rudiger, hands around Iwobi's throat, around his neck, or the arm around the neck. Just a free kick, no yellow.
I think if you could find a better turn of phrase than describing me as playing John Welsh this evening, that would be great. But yeah, on the
John Welsh is playing somebody tonight, isn't he?
Yeah, well, someone's playing with John Welsh.
Yeah, probably the mask.
Oh dear. Anywho, back to the football. The two incidents there. We know that there's always going to be kind of argy-bargy in the box in that kind of respect, but it's just odd that if any, and to be honest, I'd be happy if our players got done for it. The fact that they're too nice and never would Sabuto a goose in that respect is a different matter. But the fact where, you've got your hands in people's faces or trying to choke them, and the referee's obviously spotted it because he's giving free kicks, but then not to get his cards out, because, if you raise your hands to a player's face,
straight red.
Straight red. Now, whether or not that particular instance should be a straight red or it's just a caution, just giving a free kick isn't enough. And if one of our players gets done for it, fine. I'm happy with playing with a level playing field. But in that case, in those situations, yeah, again, choking a player. Do that, in an incident off the ball. Should be a caution of some degree. And the fact that, again, it's just a free kick, yeah, we can moan at the referee for that one.
It was a total bottle job. I'm sorry. It was absolutely... You're not allowed to raise your hands to the face. He's seen it happen twice in the space of 2 minutes, and he's bottled it. And it just shows what a dog shit referee Anthony Taylor is. He's a fucking embarrassment to the club. More chav pressure. Dom, Kante on Xhaka, no card. And then Barkley. Barkley goes to do Guendouzi as far as I'm concerned. He just went to do him. It was a horrific challenge. And we're just lucky that he did ninja thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know how that one wasn't a red after, and that's the thing too, and that's where referees can lose control of matches, can't it? Because we saw that was Chelsea's game plan in that second half, and I think as we frustrated them more and more because they couldn't create chances, they just They just kind of started to play Stoke type football, and that's probably at the point where, you know, we've been so many times before. You're outplaying a team, and the team decide to resort to those tactics, and we're the ones that end up suffering because referees aren't going out and protecting the players like they should. And it's a little bit unfortunate that we still don't see much of a change in that. Is there? I want to know from Josh. Give your top 3 most hated players in the Premier League from opposition teams. Like, for me, I'd have to say Alonso, Fellaini, and Arnautovic. They're my 3 that I just can't stand.
Oh, yeah, Fellaini's up there, definitely, for sure. Troy Deeney. It's something about Watford. They can't not have a striker that hasn't served jail time in their squad. And who else? To be honest, I'm just stuck on Troy Deeney now. I hate him so much.
It's got to be
Absolutely
Alonso,
despise him.
surely.
I'm not too annoyed by Alonso. You know, I mean, he's the only player that allegedly, no, not even allegedly, for ABW's sake, should be in jail right now for murder. But that's a different thing. But as a footballer, I can still appreciate that he is good. He has done terrible things to our club, but yeah, Arnautovic for what he did to Debussy, that's right up there as a real idiotic.
That's
thing.
what I mean. You know, those types of nasty, cynical people that just seem to, you know, every time we play them, Alonso's in and around some kind of controversial, off the ball, trying to shithouse his way through the game, trying to hurt somebody.
Yeah, that's what I mean with like Deeney from that kind of respect. We don't really see it that often when when we play them. And if you do watch Watford games, it's happening all the time, to be honest. He's just he's a prick, basically.
Fellaini's a hair puller.
He's a tall Charlie Adams, isn't he? You know, let's be honest. That's the game, boys, to be honest. That's the game. I've just got Anthony Taylor is a see you next Tuesday as my last note, and that's about it. I want to ask you both before we go to questions. There's a couple of things I want to come on to. Emery. He's gone up with a positive. I'm going to start with you, John, then come to Josh on this. Exactly the same question to both of you. He's gone up with his most ambitious selection and setup in a long time. Okay. And in the second half, it's worked well for him. All credit to him. You've got to give him credit when it goes well. In the second half, he's been very cautious with the substitutions. Do you think his cautious nature is going to cost him in the long run?
Double-edged sword, Jace, because we saw how many times with Arsene Wenger did we criticise not shutting up shop and sort of going defensive and seeing out games. And I remember Arsene Wenger did start doing that. Remember when he used to keep bringing Monreal on the left wing in games as more of a defensive to see out the game thing? And most times it worked. But, you know, the one time that it doesn't, people are going to start hooting and hollering and saying, you know, we shouldn't have X, Y, and Z. But it's one of those things. I don't. As if it works, it works. You know, you can't criticize something when it's working like that. And there's some sad twat in the chat box that keeps making YouTube accounts because he's got nothing better to do. That's all right.
In all fairness, at least he's not been racist this time. But whatever you are,
it's all good. But no, I don't know what. I like I said today, I liked it. I really enjoyed the kind of switch to like you said. How many times have we kept a clean sheet this season? It's not been many. So I don't know. Yeah, Josh, what do you think? Did you like that shift to kind of letting them onto us a little bit and giving up control, or did you think we should have gone after it more?
I mean, any top manager now worth their salt at the top of the game does these kind of things, and they'll realise when a game is done, they'll just close it out. You know, during the summer, the kind of managers that we were linked with, or even just the kind of managers that we wanted, they're all these pragmatic managers that, you know, 60 minutes are on the clock, we're 2-0 up. The opposing manager has already played his hand. It's a little easier in this respect against this Chelsea side, especially with Sarri, because Sarri doesn't like to make too many changes to how his squad or his starting 11 even. It's more or less the same starting 11 he's gone with all season, with very little change in it. So he's quite easy to read in terms of what subs are going to come. So at that point, yeah, I mean, if we'd say even got like an Allegri in, he'd have done exactly the same at this game. He would have shut up shop and we would have just seen the game out. And that's just something I think as Arsenal fans, we're going to go on to need to get used to. That obviously under Wenger, it could have been, back to the wall or, flying forward for 90 minutes at a time, just trying to grab late goals. But we don't need a late goal, especially in this situation, 2-0 up. We don't need one. If, Chelsea scored in the 75th minute and we had to make a change, then yeah, unfortunately, he's already played his hand because unfortunately Bellerin's gone over and he's used up his last sub. But for what we did, it worked out great. We got the clean sheet, 3 points. I can't see anything wrong with what Emery has chosen to do.
I think you've both got great points there. My one kind of concern is that the teams who are running away with the title this season are all out attack. All out attack.
I completely disagree.
They are able to. Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I kind of disagree. You go, Josh.
I would say look at Liverpool this season. They are not all out attack than they were last season. Last season they did. They were flying for 90 minutes at a time and they just burnt out. Completely burnt out by the end of it and lost the title. Whereas what you see from a Guardiola team is, yeah, he'll blow them away, but then they'll just keep the ball. They'll just keep the ball for 90 minutes and you won't see it at all. You just won't touch it. And that's them seeing out the game. If they manage to carve open a chance in that time, then yeah, they're going to put it away because look at the quality of their players. But they're not forcing the issue at that point. Their mentality is to sit back, deal with the pressure. And the way that a Guardiola team deals with the pressure is they'll keep the ball. And that's it. Chase it off them.
Well, so for example, I've just got the stats up quick, Jay. So Liverpool have conceded the least amount of goals, and they've only conceded 13 for the season. They've scored 54. Man City have only conceded 17 and scored 59, and we've scored 48, which isn't too far off, but we've conceded 32.
I think you're both making good points, boys. You're both coming back on the point. Yeah, no, it's hard to argue with what you've just said. It is.
Even Man City last season had the best defensive record. Yeah, they showed, and this is the big thing where I look at someone like a Mourinho and saw where his downfall was in his managerial career, other than the fact of his massive twat, is that he didn't seem to understand that you can concede very few goals while still having an attacking threat. Because Man City and Liverpool have showed that over the last couple of seasons that it's possible.
Well, this is the thing. I look at, as Josh said about City, they'll keep the ball. Liverpool, not so much, but their defence is very good, We didn't keep the ball tonight. We defended very well. We did in the second half. We didn't have as much possession as opposed to the first half. It was a case of we'll soak up the pressure, which does concern me. But it's a clean sheet and a 2-0 win against a direct rival. James Henry House says on Twitter at the FC podcast, all round tonight's our best performance this season. We were resolute at the back, nullified Chelsea's threat, and we got the deserved advantage at half-time. Aubameyang needs to be more clinical, which was my only concern. I think James is, he's made some fair points there, to be fair. I think, there's not much you can argue with there. Guys, it's been a bit of a week. Obviously, there's the business with Maitland-Niles reported to be leaving. Okay, it's this Chelsea. You're a sad bastard, wherever you are. You really are a pathetic human being. How sad is your life that you're in here trolling us? How pathetic are you? Hasn't your mum made your tea yet? Are mummy and daddy arguing? Is that the reason you're trolling us? Is there something missing in your life? Mate, be productive. Go have a wank. Take care. Ta-da. Sorry about that. With Maitland-Niles leaving the club, okay? And now you've got the talk Ornstein in the paper on radio this week saying Emery has told him he doesn't want him at the club anymore. Are you, we seem to be under Raul. We seem to be doing all our communication via Ornstein at the moment as a club. Are you a bit concerned by what's going on behind the scenes? You first, Don, then hand over to Josh, please.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult not to. I try to not get too caught up into that stuff purely because it's something that I can't control. You don't want to lose too much sleep or invest too much negative energy over things like that you literally have no control over. But yeah, I mean, obviously this kind of Gazidis and Raul and Sven and, the contracts person, Husfami and the team that was supposed to be the dream team that was going to put us into the future hasn't lasted very long. And yeah, I mean, people are going to argue about, Arsene Wenger versus everything else or Emery versus, people can discuss that stuff all they want. But at the end of the day, I thought about this earlier in the week where people just want to play the I'm right game. And at the end of the day, even if every single Arsenal fan agreed on who's to blame, it doesn't change anything. Literally nothing changes. If every single one of us all woke up and agreed that it was all Arsene Wenger's fault or all Gazidis' fault or whoever you want to point the blame at, then what? Nothing's changed. It doesn't fix anything. It doesn't improve anything. So I think I just hope that the club's got enough people around and enough good people around that these decisions that they're kind of, they're just teething problems, I think, is what I'm hopeful of, Josh.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd agree on are we screwed as a club because Mislintat is leaving or potentially leaving, whatever Sanye he's up to. I don't think our whole club anymore is leveraged on one particular person off the field that's going to basically bring down the entire house of cards. We're still a desirable team. We've got Raul Sanyehi, who is, very high up in Barcelona, pulling the strings now instead of Ivan Gazidis. And yeah, the various different rumors we've seen out of why Sven might be leaving. Bear in mind, he's only been with us for what, a year or so? Is it a year, 18 months? It's not that long. That's like not being able to settle in another country that long. It might just be as simple as that. And people are getting their tinfoil hats.
No. Bear with me a second. Ornstein's reporting on this, okay? And Ornstein's words are, under Gazidis, Mislintat was promised the carrot of the technical director role. As soon as Gazidis is gone and Raul has taken over as the director of football, things have changed. And Mislintat feels as if he's been ignored, put to the side. We're going down a very Spanish route. And so the whole reason of bringing Mislintat in has gone. This is no tinfoil stuff. When Ornstein speaks, we know he has a direct line into the club. And the club communicates via him.
That's completely true until he said Arteta was joining our club and Emery turned up at the door. And at that point, it was Balagay. So I am not taking everything that he says as gospel until...
But bear with me, behind that, you had the thing of Arteta was Gazidis' man, and Raul and Mislintat told him, look, you're hiding to nothing if you hire Arteta. This is the guy we should go for, okay? This is the thing where, he is fed stories which are true at the time, they can change afterwards. But what he's saying here, okay, it worries me. Maybe I'm overreacting to it, Josh. Maybe I'm overreacting to it. But we're communicating via the press. Mislintat going 12 months after arriving, so to speak, it worries me. The Ozil leaking out that Emery has told Ozil he doesn't want him anymore. Obviously, we're all used to Arsene Wenger, okay? That's how the club's been run over the years. But it seems as if we're losing our title of the classy club. It really does. Am I overreacting?
I would say, yes, you are overreacting in that regard because, a big change has happened at Arsenal. Did we expect that this would be plain sailing and that everybody would get on? When Wenger left, I remember you saying, "Oh look, Ivan, he's sitting right at the front. He's conducting the press conference. He's found his slot to take the limelight." Now perhaps Raul's doing the same. Perhaps Sven wanted to. Well, no, we know Sven wanted to do the same because obviously he went and pushed for this new role that he then didn't get. But there is a lot of egos at top end of business, and we're just seeing a little bit of fallout. And if it becomes a problem, then I think we see the chain above coming, and we see a Kroenke on the board coming in and taking a handle on it. But whilst we don't see these kind of emergency situations coming in, I don't really see a huge issue. And perhaps the way that Raul is seeing how the club should be laid out and the vision coming from perhaps the Kroenkes, perhaps they're just saying, whatever, you ran Barcelona, you know what you're doing from that respect.
I'll tell you the only worry I have, Josh, with the whole Sven Raul thing is that Raul seems to be brought in because he has good relationships with some of the bigger agents. He has a lot more scope across Europe. He has a lot more connections, which is fantastic. But we don't have the money. Whereas Sven seems to have been able to kind of throw up a few gems through Torreira, through Guendouzi, through his history or Dortmund and things like that, where he's able to identify little gems. And that's my concern, is that we're losing the person that, to me, on the surface, seems to be what we need right now, because we don't have bottomless pits of money like Barcelona would have, and we can't go and, there's no point talking to a super agent about a 60 million quid player when we can't afford it. That's my only kind of thought. And granted, I know nothing, but that's it. That's all I've kind of got in terms of an opinion on it.
And we pay taxes.
Well, that's true.
I'd say the players that he has brought in, then Guendouzi was one that Emery identified. He wanted the lad from PSG. That was the one that Sven had identified as that one. So you've seen Torreira come in. Great signing. We can't disagree with that. But then we're seeing people like Socrates, Lichtsteiner, Aubameyang. I mean, I could have gone on to FIFA and, ranked high to low on good strikers. I'd have given you Aubameyang as an option. Mkhitaryan, again, it's kind of, we've had a guy that knows the player, but he hasn't really identified him. It's just an option we were given for Man United, and we took it at that point. There's nothing really. It's one of those positions you'd need longer than a year to get purely tangible results. And so us switching him out, we don't know what he's done behind the scenes in terms of that scouting, because that was his remit, wasn't it? It was, you're coming in as chief scout, you need to completely blow away the old scouting issues that we've had previously and bring new stuff. Look, we're looking in Serie A now. We've seen 2 Serie A players come in last year, whereas or even just last window, whereas under Wenger, I don't think we signed anyone from Serie A other than Vieira, and that was right at the beginning of his tenure. So the fact that we're now diversifying our scouting, then in theory, I'm trusting what Sven's done is good enough that someone else can come in over the top. And the fact we're getting, like links with directors of football like Edu, Overmars, then perhaps we're changing it. We don't need a scout trying to be a technical director.
It's just the way it's all panning out. I mean, I've said all since Ivan's left, you've got now 3 ambitious people in play, and that hardly ever works out. Do you know what I mean? It's been something we've harped on about, and the fact they've got to work with Emery rather than against him. Maybe this is, a good for us going forward. I'm not particularly impressed about the way he's coming out in the press. I'm really not. The Ozil situation, to be fair to Arsene, he would always keep that behind closed doors, right? Which is where it should be, right? It's one of those things where I'm a little bit uneasy with it, with the way it's planning out. It seems very Barcelona-esque when they're trying to unsettle a player. Everything's in the press. We're just going to have to see how it pans out. I just wanted to get both your takes on it at the moment, because I don't think there's a right and a wrong. Results and seeing who actually comes in are going to tell us how successful it is. So let's go to questions then, guys. Again, a big thanks to the chat box. We got 161 likes. It would be nice to have 200. It really would. I'm not gonna, say it wouldn't. But obviously you've done the initial job I've asked you to do. So well done, chat box. But a bit of ambition wouldn't go amiss, guys. Bit of ambition wouldn't go amiss. We've still got a friend from Chelsea in and around the chat box. So thanks for being a prick. You truly are a sad human being, and we're impressed with your level of pathetic.
Yeah, if only the team showed as much dedication and commitment on the pitch as he's showing in our chat box, maybe they wouldn't have got rolled over. Anyway, let's get on with it, because fuck that guy, Jace.
Yeah. Right. Okay, here we go. So, questions. First one to you, Dom. Marcus Hodges says, seeing a lot of non-contact injuries. Is fatigue starting to set in on the players from so much intense play?
No. I'm glad that question got brought up, because it seems to be something that, the supporter that's sitting at home across the world, not only in terms of Arsenal, I'm talking basketball, football, NFL, everything. The thing is these guys are playing so much, like, they're elite athletes. They're never in 100%. Not one of the players this time of year is feeling 100% fit, good to go. And even if they are, those injuries can happen. What happened with Bellerin could have happened 10 times before it did happen. It is one of those things where his studs get caught in the ground a little bit, the wrong kind of pressure, rotation, the forces, all of those things have to match up beautifully. And it is a very rare thing to happen. Unfortunately, it did. And these types of things aren't worth trying to find blame over. They're a time to give our support to Hector. They're not a time to try and point blame at medical teams or fitness or anything like that. And I know that it's the go-to, something bad happens and people want a reason. People want an outlet. People want to know, where do I direct my frustration? This is one of those times where there is nowhere other than that sucks. Same with Big Bobby. It is one of those injuries that is just really sad, because there's just nothing that you can really do to prevent it other than don't be a professional athlete. That is the answer. If you don't want the risk of those types of injuries, don't play football. So, unfortunately, it is what it is. And people can come up with articles about quadricep muscles being fatigued, therefore not engaging enough to support it. People don't realize how strong an ACL ligament is. It literally is like a piece of rope. It is unbelievably strong. But like anything, with the right force in the right conditions, it can rupture. So it is what it is, Jace. It's just really sad.
Yeah, tell me about it. Pete Coulson asks Josh, does Emery have a problem with Laka? He drags him off every bloody game and clearly knows it pisses him off. Explain, please, amigos. Look at that. Pete with the amigo. I like that.
Well, I've just seen that Laka's agent has started getting vocal now as well about the whole situation. So, yeah, it could be a case of, well, I don't know if Emery's got a problem with Laka, but I think Laka's certainly getting a problem with Emery in that respect. I'm not sure why he's been taken off. I think I said earlier, that he seems better suited to see out a game than Aubameyang does for us. But yeah, I'm not really sure, but it could end in French tears.
I've got to be honest. If this does end in Lacazette wanting to leave the club as well, you are looking at an era of Ramsey leaving for nothing, Meza trying to be forced out by the sounds of things, or whether he's trying to get a better performance out of him, who knows? But it's not looking good. And if he's now alienating Lacazette, there's going to be trouble going forward, isn't there? If we're linked to the likes of Ava fucking Banega, okay, and we're seeing the players that we're seeing leaving or being forced out the club, I gotta be honest, you guys. I'm not fucking positive at the moment.
I would say the only thing that is difficult for him is, how do you manage two world-class strikers in a world that is one striker up top?
I accept that totally, but it's always one of them coming out at the moment, and I would accept that. Okay, if you with Aubameyang's pace, you could utilize it, but we never do. We don't play that game. We don't play the game where we utilise Aubameyang's pace. So if you're not utilising what the guy on the park has got, why are you bringing the other guy off all the time? I am concerned. I truly think Emery was the right man for the job. I truly do. But I think he may be fucking it up for himself. And that's what I think at the moment. Anyway, onwards and upwards. And talking of strikers, here we go. Dom, Jai Harad asks, is Aubameyang going to get better?
Is he going to get better? Hopefully. You know, he's in the top few goal scorers in the Premier League, and yet we're still here kind of debating whether he could do more or not. And I think that says a lot. You know, he's producing, but it does feel like there's another level there in terms of his interplay, finishing, you know, being a little more prolific, putting chances away. He feels like he's doing really well, but it's like he's playing like almost, you know, he's almost there to being a proper, dangerous, world-class performer week in, week out. I don't think he's far off, but I do I get the feeling that he could probably be a little bit more productive in general. However, you can't knock things like him tracking back and slide tackling Hazard in the box and the work rate that he has shown and those other areas of the game. So if he can clean up that going forward a little bit, I mean, I'd like to get Josh's thoughts on Aubameyang, because I know that, you know, like he said, he's not the biggest fan, but is that because he thinks he's capable of more, or does he think that this is his level?
I just don't think he's a complete forward on the likes of where Lacazette is. So for the team, he isn't necessarily what we need in certain situations, which is what Jace has said earlier, and what I've been saying across the show and across previous pods is sometimes Lacazette is the striker you need at that time rather than Aubameyang, because of what they bring in their overall game rather than just goals.
It is difficult, isn't it? I mean, I thought that was like Aubameyang's best performance in a while, but he missed a couple of opportunities. I think they were very difficult, but you can't knock his goal scoring record. But we you know, it seems as though Emery's style of play, we need everybody to be productive in and off the ball and in possession. I don't think we're playing to Aubameyang's strengths, in fairness to him. I think I should say that, you know. I don't think we're playing to his strengths, so I think it's very difficult for him. But, you know,
we are playing to Lacazette's strengths, though, Jace.
Yeah, and that's the point.
Here we go.
Yeah,
end of. Yeah. Take Aubameyang off. That's all I'm saying.
I couldn't agree more. I just couldn't agree more. Josh, one for you. Nexus1 asks, who will play for Bellerin now he's out injured? I know.
Corporal Jenkinson. He's back. You know we needed to keep hold of him. We couldn't loan him out in January. I reckon it was him, wasn't it? He put a really hard bit of turf down just to make sure that he didn't leave this window and could stay at Arsenal for another 6 months.
I think the question needs to be, Josh, is Jenkinson an Arsenal legend?
Right up there
yes.
with Gavin Hoyt, because I saw Gavin Hoyt come out in the Legends game, so he must at least be twice the legend.
Does Gavin Hoyt have Arsenal bed sheets?
Oh, exactly. That's what I'm saying. He's twice the legend of Gavin Hoyt and Justin Hoyt together.
Excellent. Marble Halls TV asks, can you release a line of Tappy t-shirts? Do you know what? If you want them, ask Danny, we'll sort them out. Somebody said they were going to do them themselves, but there you go. By the way, how many likes have we got? 167. Come on, guys. 180, please. Come on now.
Don't make it big.
Don't let yourselves down. Don't let yourselves down. You know, there's still 230 of you watching. You stick with this. You know, push us over the line. Score that last-minute winner. Be a hero like Rambo against Hull and Rambo against Chelsea. You know, just going to mention get my Rambo fix in tonight. I got to do it.
We've only got 6 months, right?
Tom, Marble Halls TV asks again, do we need, this is perfect for you, Do we need a wide forward who can supply Auba and there's pace to track back?
Yes, because we're relying on our fullbacks to do those overlapping runs and cutting the ball, into those areas. And we did even see it once today where Kolasinac did get caught doing that, which he's obviously supposed to be doing. Luckily, Guendouzi got across to that left side and then stopped the counter attack, which was really, really good positional play by him. But it does give us an extra element to our attack that defensively helps. I know that sounds strange, but having a winger and a creative wide forward that doesn't mind getting a bit of chalk on their boots because they get down those touch lines and into those areas without it having to be a fullback actually helps us defensively as well. So yeah, I genuinely think that a wide attacking player like that would really help the team overall for sure. Not just the strikers, but the defenders too.
Yeah, I do agree. I gotta be honest here. Dom, you said I have a question for Jason. I bet I take it that was the Socrates thing.
That was. Just how much did you enjoy it though? Just how much did you enjoy that?
I really enjoyed that. I gotta admit, look, I still say it. He's not the guy we should have signed, but when he does something like that, he puts a smile on my face. He's the type of defender, I like that type of defender. I like somebody who's going to get physical with players and just go balls in. He's not my favourite player, but when his performance
you
today...
You clutched that straw, Jace. You clutched that straw.
Hey, look, I got to be honest with you. Let's go back to West Ham. Let's go to Liverpool. I can find plenty of examples of him being shit, okay? But tonight, he played well. Him and Koscielny were really, really good, and they deserve plaudits because they did the business tonight. Last week, we were all moans and groans after West Ham. Well, they've put that behind them, and they've produced a great performance tonight, so all credit to them. One for all of us. Jai Harad asks, did you expect to beat Chelsea tonight? Now, I've got to be honest here. I think I called it last week. I think me and you were on the pod, Josh, and we both said that we'd win today. Okay? But to me, it was down to the setup. I wasn't positive about tonight. I really wasn't. But the selection and setup gave me hope. So I was a bit 50-50 before the game. Josh, your thoughts?
Yeah, I must have changed my mind from the pod to earlier when I was asked the question to one of my friends' groups. It was I thought Desmond was going to be the result. But yeah, well, we scored two.
To be fair, we were both being positive. You know what I mean? We were both being positive. Yeah. Dom, your thoughts?
On what I thought the game would turn out like?
Yeah.
I didn't have to, this is the thing for me. I just generally look at our body of work leading up to the game, and there was nothing really to suggest to me that we were going to do what we did today. So I was surprised. Yeah, in a good way, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Who's getting the next question? I've forgotten.
Josh.
Josh. Alonso Spencer asks, do you think the reason why Emery goes to 3 at the back is to suit Kolasinac? If so, do you think he'll go back to 4 at the back, seeing how to best suit Kos, the boss, and Socrates? Kos, the boss, and Socrates.
I thought he was going at 3 at the back, perhaps for Kolasinac, but I also thought it was a case of trying to give defenders minutes at that point. But yeah, I'm hoping we stick with 4 at the back. Let's put it that way. And I hope the fact that we got a clean sheet and decent performance means that we'll continue under that. But with Bellerin out, yeah, that might change, and it might be to suit actually whoever we end up putting out there on the right going forward. But I'd love to see 4 at the back continue.
Absolutely agree. I think the sad thing is, the injury to Hector is terrible for him. It's terrible for us as a team as well. And that's really concerning. Unique79 asks, Jace, should we keep Ramsey and sell Ozil? What do you think? And Nexus 1 comes in with, yep, sell Ozil, keep Ramsey. Ozil is just taking liberties with the club. I got to be honest with you guys. Ramsey's gone. He's gone. There's no point in this. I'd love him to stay at the club. You know him. I love Aaron Ramsey. Okay, I really worry with the business with Ozil and the business now with Lacazette coming up and what's happened to Ramsey, that we are going to be shipping money and quality players. To me, the manager's job is to get the best out of what you got. Well, we saw a great performance from Rambo tonight, and the whole team, everybody who came on was great. Every played, every came on. We now have to get that out of Mezet, and that's the manager's responsibility. He's not going anywhere. That money's going to be too tough to shift. And for good or bad, Emery has to find a way of finding a solution to this. And that is his responsibility. He's the manager. Dom, Michael Hahnemann asks, your thoughts who we will bring in if Ozil goes? What position do you think we should strengthen? What position do you think we should strengthen at this moment with Ramsey making Ozil's role his own? I'm not too sure about this, but you go on that.
I don't think Ramsey is playing Ozil's role. I think Ramsey's doing what Ramsey does. I think that what you're seeing is a guy who, again, it's not really a spoiler alert, but I really, really rate Aaron Ramsey as a footballer and always have. And I know there's a lot of people that think that he's average at best, but I think the proof will be in the pudding with what he does at Juventus. And I think the proof will be in the pudding in terms of, what we get in to replace him. I think people might be surprised at just how good the guy is. But the issue, it is a worry. But the big worry for me is that we let Jack Wilshere go, who, could have been a £15 million player at the time, and Ramsey, who's probably a 45 to 50 million quid player. When you look at the teams that are sniffing around, you're talking, people can talk all they want about Ozil's wages, but we've just let 70 million quid just walk out the door for free at the club. And that, to me, is a bigger concern in terms of losing these assets. If they are going to go, hey, look, I can wish Rambo the best, but the sad part is that you're going to get nothing for that. He's a player in his prime, regardless of what you think of him and his quality. It's a big chunk of money that's walking out the door. And I don't think that you can just go and replace him for free. That's the problem, is that we don't have any money as it is. You're talking about Denis Suarez on loan with an option to buy. That's not Ramsey quality. That's not going to replace what we're losing. So I kind of worry a little bit that if he's not playing Ozil, there's no creativity there without Ramsey. That is definitely on show to see, because Torreira, Guendouzi and Xhaka, for all of their qualities they do have, they're not dangerous in and around those areas like Ozil and Ramsey are. Mkhitaryan hasn't really kicked on, to be someone that we can look at to put in that spot and expect a lot out of. So, yeah, I'm a little concerned. I would like to see an attacking wide player come in for sure, but I still think there's that midfielder that can drive the team forward, like Jack used to do, like Ramsey can, like Santi could, that kind of more attacking threat in that position of the field. El Nenny's not that player. Maitland-Niles is not that player. I think that we kind of forget the quality of player that we have with Ramsey and Ozil. And I think that we're really going to miss it unless, like I said, unless Sven somehow pulls something out the hat, who's probably not going to be here. So there's a few worries for me, for sure.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Right. Okay. That's it for tonight, guys. Michael Hahnemann comes in. The final question: when will we see Smith Rowe in that role? I think he's got a couple of years to develop, to be honest, pal. I think, there's a lot of pressure coming on the youngsters who've had a few good performances. When you see Smith Rowe's body of work, it's very limited at the moment. Let's take our time with him. Let him enjoy his football. Let him come through properly, and hopefully we'll have a guy.
Same story with Reece Nelson as well. People kind of talking about bringing him back. There's no benefit to him and for Arsenal to bring him back now. He needs to keep working in a different league, get the experience, and hopefully, he's a player that we can really kick on in a year or two. But none of those are really. And again, they're not replacing Ramsey and Ozil. They're too young. They're not there yet. Hopefully one day, but they're not there yet.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's wrap this up. First of all, my thanks to the chat box. We got 182 likes. Superb of you. You've really had a be brilliant tonight. I can see Pete Coulson, Ben, Carly Jamin in there, K-Man 1867, Matt Hudson, Sir Antonius Block, C-Rex is in there, Richard Garrett. You've been superb. Thank you ever so much, guys. The chat box has been a joy, apart from a tit who just, some pathetic idiot, but never mind. So thank you, chat box. To those of you listening on iTunes, Stitcher, or whatever it is, as always, thank you for your support. You're brilliant. We're all celebrating a victory tonight, which is really, really nice. If you want to be part of the chat box, subscribe to the YouTube channel, click on the bell icon, and you will be notified whenever we go live. We go live after every game, and we will do this season, even if it's just a one-man show. We will be live after every game this season. Your support has been superb. Big shout-outs to Unique79, Yvonne Kofa, Daryl Kane, who just went bananas tonight, Michael Hahnemann, Nikhil Naidu, Aryan Hadari, Vibor Singh, Daniil Chernikov, Daniel Mage, Mr. Boblex, and Chris Lodato. Guys, thank you for the donations. That was magnificent of you. You were superb. And the biggest thanks to Dom and Josh. Guys, I thought you were really good tonight. Well done.
Thanks, Chase.
We're always really
fun
good,
today.
Chase. It's just you're in a good mood.
Hold up. I thought you were good last week, Josh. And, I was in a terrible mood. Whoa, Blair Slater's just come in with 549 to annoy Danny. Oh, Blair, you're a star, mate. You've done this before, right at the end of the show, and we've caught you this time, so thank you very much. You're a rock star. Thank you so much. Yeah, I was in a good mood. I was in a bad mood last week, pal, and I thought you were good then.
Thanks. That's all I needed to hear, Chase. Wasn't that hard, was it?
Blair Slater says, Slater out. That should be Carpenter out, Blair. It should always be Carpenter out. Guys, it's a 2-0 win against the Scum. It's not a bad night. Thank you for your company. We hope you have a great night, have a great weekend. Keep it Arsenal. That has been a Bergkamp Wonderland Live. Take care. Good night. God bless.